shoot, I said that you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalker, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man with king? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot, what said that you claim?
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And this is a wonderful Tuesday. And on this Tuesday, I got a chance to reflect on the industry, where we're going, the pitfalls, the lost games, studios, some friends in the industry. And it seems like the industry is in for a major revision. Is it possible that we can avert a crash? Quite possibly. But I think the crash has already happened, and we just don't understand the ramifications of how a modern day crash looks. It looks completely different on the surface. And I will get into that whole thing soon. But we do have some bright spots in this industry. Nintendo, for one. Shout out to them for doing what they did, and we're going to talk about that as well. And we have a huge month of Game Pass that's about to hit. We do have topics that we do have to talk about. We do have cancellations of some studios. And I don't see the outcry from a lot of you gamers for Amazon games. I swear I think there's some type of biasness when it comes to your selective outrage for certain studios and companies, where Amazon just kind of did the unthinkable. 14,000 jobs in one fell swoop is nothing to sneeze at. And cancellations of titles, games, closure of studios, these things are becoming more and more commonplace as the largest strides in AI. But again, I will talk about this in my synopsis of today's video. But if you love Xbox news, well, you found your new best friend. Please accept my invitation to become a member, sub, share it out, whatever you want to do. And yo, hit that hype up button. Yo, y'all been hitting that hype button, and it's been dope. Now listen, 26% of you guys aren't subbed to the channel. You watch the video, you don't sub. Hit the sub, bro. Check it out. xCloud is going places. We're going to talk about Jez's article. My man Jez is out here, man. And I like that. I like that a lot. But let's get into these topics. I done held you back long enough, right? Let's get into these topics. Now, on this wonderful Game Pass Tuesday, we get a glimpse of what Microsoft is releasing this month for Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, and Standard. You know, in the month that you get Call of Duty, the pickings other than that game is going to be slim. And I understand that. I understand going into the month of November what it should and what it would look like, because you don't want anything outshining Call of Duty. To be real with you, let's just keep it, a bean. But, last month it was a crazy month. You had Keeper, Ninja Gaiden 4, your Outer Worlds 2. So again, we're at it right now, right? So, on the 14th, you got Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Dead Static Drive on November 5th, Sniper Elite Resistance the 5th, Egging On the 6th, Whisker Wood the 6th, Void Train the 7th, Great God Groove. Now, that is what I'm interested in. I want to play Great God Groove. It looks dope to me. That's on the 11th floor. Croft in the Temple of Osiris is a really cool game. If you not got a chance to play it, I actually like it. Pigeon Simulator. Sounds strange. Sounds weird. I don't think I'm going to be trying that, but you never know, right? Then we have Relic Hunter's Legend, Winter Burrows. Winter Burrows look pretty cool. The art style looks nice. Again, so many cool things, so little time. Don't know when you're going to get a chance to play them. And then, last month, like I said, I went into the yada, 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 what was there for last month. But again, the highlight and the big draw for this month is Black Ops 7 Day 1 inside Game Pass. Again, it's going to do the numbers that it's supposed to do. A non-stop cash machine. Now, a ton of people will tell you that the Xbox ROG Ally X isn't worth the money. A lot of people will tell you that it's a scam. A lot of people will tell you that don't waste your time. Well, that's falling on deaf ears. The consumers have spoken. The Xbox ROG Ally X continues to see shortages all across the world. The system is selling out as fast as they can replenish the stock. As many times as it shows up is as many times as it walks out the door, never to return again. Now, I don't know about the Xbox ROG Ally, but I know the Xbox ROG Ally X is singing the praises into the hands of the consumers. Now, the consumers are singing the praises once they receive it. It's singing right out the door. Listen, the ROG Ally X in some countries still prove popular as stock issues persist in some countries. Seems to be a huge demand for it. They're urging many people to have patience. It's a busy time. It's a busy and the busyness continues. Of course, the demand is different depending on where you're located, with the UK in particular appearing to be struggling for stock of the ROG Ally X, Xbox ROG Ally X. As we stand, some retailers are taking orders, but with a late shipping date, such as December. But with that, certainly more preferable option than buying through a third party somewhere like eBay. Now, I'm telling you, this brings joy to my heart because now a quality device is going to do what quality devices do: sell. It's a quality device. Get out, go, support.
I don't tell you what to do with your money. Don't fucking tell me what to do with mine, okay?
In the words of Homer Simpson, dagnammit, I am so sick and tired of this. Top of the priority should have been, once Xbox and Microsoft acquired ABK, was to get World of Warcraft on the Xbox. It seems that Microsoft has made a workaround for ABK's reluctance to conform to the regimen. World of Warcraft devs still not actively working towards the native Xbox console version. Now, being that the next console is going to be a console/hybrid device, we're going to get you regardless. And I think that's their thinking. Why go through all the work of doing all the stuff where we're going to be a couple of years out, curating this and making this thing work and run on Xbox, when we can just simply, soon as the next Xbox come out, just play it. It does have gamepad support, so we do know that World of Warcraft is viable in the gaming space. But what they said was they're focusing on the PC as it stands, and they're making sure that that PC lives up to its promise. I am bitter when it comes to this. But there is hope. That console's on its way. It'll be here very shortly. And by the time that console get here, then yes, of course, I will be ready to get right back into World of Warcraft. My guy Jez, Jez Corden, Windows Central, had a good sit down with the Xbox ROG Ally, the regular version. Now, this is very important because a lot of times when I'm talking from the perspective of the Xbox ROG Ally X. And well, he got a chance to do this article based on stuff that, listen, today was a huge day when I decided to go down the path of who's saving gaming. And, xCloud Gaming just got its biggest upgrade yet, but would anybody pay for it is the title of the piece from Jez. And, Microsoft has upgraded xCloud Windows Gaming to 1440p resolution and 60 frames per second, sharper streams, but the improvement comes alongside, and he's going into the price hike, and I could see why, they give him, guff for this stuff. Now, again, I told y'all ahead of time that they were working on xCloud and they were working on upgrading the servers. I was explaining that before because going into the next generation, they want to have a strong service in Azure Clouds on the server base side to bring you higher resolutions when it comes to your streaming games. And just got a chance to play The Witcher 3, and it was eventful. The resolutions that he showed, the frames per second that it was being showed, and then he also used it with a phone and his controller, Bluetooth controller. What he's saying is, at this point now, Xbox is finally realizing the promise of xCloud. So I got to give a shout out to Bill Stillwell. Bill Stillwell was the architect of xCloud, and he's no longer over at Microsoft, but his vision has finally reached maturity. And I think this is Xbox's largest trump card when it comes to next generation and accessibility. This thing is an absolute game changer. Please go read the article, watch the embedded video. I like that Jez is now doing videos, little breakdowns and stuff like that, because again, I think he's a personality and I think he goes very far in this space based on his connections and based on the fact that, he actually does a detailed breakdown on devices and stuff like that he does like. So, give it a chance. Go check it out. Go to Windows Central and check out the article from Jez. Now, whenever new tech becomes available and it's going to be mass marketed to independents, to the creative, I'm going to be at the forefront of this stuff. It doesn't matter who brings it to the table. Well, the person that's bringing it to the table today is Sony. And this creative, innovative new scope in how they're giving the creative a canvas in order for them to work with is going to spawn new developers throughout the ages. This is kind of like how Dream was for gaming. I thought that project was good. I thought Dream was great. And for them to cancel it and end it, that wasn't on Jim Ryan's bucket list to keep funding that. And I thought Dream was actually a fun product. It was a product that inspired. Well, this product inspires. I want you to see exactly where Sony's vision for creative, and this is from big Sony, this is not from little PlayStation, this is from Sony proper, where they see innovation in the space of the creative. No matter where you create, they have something for you.
What if you could create without limits? Film in places once considered impossible and create scenes that blend reality with imagination. Capture motion on the go and bring your ideas to life in every character. Sing beyond borders and take your music further, connecting with fans like never before. Sony champions the boldest visions, through evolving technologies and elevating inspirations that drive new possibilities. So you, the creator, can open doors to worlds unimagined. The stage is yours. Break free. Defy limits. Celebrate imagination.
With the PlayStation 5 Pro being underutilized by developers, I'm kind of pissed off. I did not buy the hardware for it to be overlooked, dismissed, and kind of set to the side. I'm glad that it's not my only means to access video games. I am pleased that I don't depend on the PlayStation 5 Pro to deliver the graphical excellence that was promised to me by Sony. No PlayStation 5 Pros for yet another major game. And I know you're going to say, which major game is this? Well, Arc Raiders, bro. Arc Raiders, the new phenomena of the extraction shooter, doesn't come with pro enhancements. But that's not all. You have Borderlands 4, you have Dying Light the Beast, all launched without PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements. Meanwhile, games like Outer Worlds 2, Silent Hill F, Metal Gear Solid, Delta perform worst on the PlayStation 5 Pro. The pro performance issues tends to stem from Sony's pisser. That thing is pissing all over the place. Pause. And it's disturbing stuff that goes on with the device. It's actually performing terribly utilizing it. I know Jay Barry told me to turn it off on certain games so I can get better performance. Listen, if they initially told me that this device was able to do this based off of this technology that they had here, and this is the reason why they brought this device to the marketplace, well then, damn it, why can't I have what you promised? From Sony's end, they're dropping the ball. I'm honest with this, man. They're dropping the ball. This device is, I paid $900 with the disk drive, with the stand, everything that came, and man, and nobody's saying anything about this. The Nintendo Switch 2 continues its phenomenal run as its launch hasn't slowed down. 10 million copies, more than the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. The company has raised its forecast for the business year, Switch 1 set to become Nintendo's best-selling console ever. With Switch 2 phenomenal success, that's in jeopardy. With 10.36 million consoles sold by the end of this month. That's more than the original Switch, which sold 4.7 million, the PlayStation 4, which sold 7.5 million, or the PlayStation 5, which sold 7.8 million during their first 2 quarters of sales. Switch 2 is comfortably Nintendo's biggest launch ever. Nintendo shared the sales figures as part of their financial results on Tuesday. In response to the numbers, the company's raised its hardware forecast for the business year up from 19 million units from 15 million, and its operating profit up 15%, so around 2.4 billion. The company said it revised its forecast factored in the U.S. tariff measurements using the tariff rates in effect at the end of September 2025. Since it launched in June, 35% of the Switch 2 sales, 3.68 million, have been in America and 22.6 in Japan, with 2.35 million sold, although the latter has been constrained by stocks. If the Switch 2 hardware sales hit Nintendo's first-year target of 19, the console will comfortably be ahead of where the original Switch was at 14.87. This is staggering numbers. But again, portability seems to be the wave. If you have a portable device, you are in. I'm thinking Microsoft is on to something. I'm thinking. Now it's stuff like this that kind of, you know, breaks my heart. But we have to talk about the good and we have to talk about the bad. NetEase is closing one of its studios after just 2 short years. They just opened it. 2 years in development cycles is very short, especially developing a AAA title. They were developing a AAA title called Ghost, and the leader of the studio, the head of the studio, is Greg Street. Fantastic Pixel Castle was the name of the studio, and I mean that sounds dope. It's a dope enough name, but the entirety of the staff will be made redundant after November 17th. So they are hopefully looking for funding after that date. But if funding does not come, his main priority is making sure that his staff can get gainful employment. If it's from them revitalizing Fantastic Pixel Castle 2.0 or working with any stable tech giant in the industry, hopefully their game can be made. See, it's entirely dozens of people who reached out trying to help us raise capital or through introductions to people who could. He said he's humbled by the whole experience and the stuff that's going on. So there's still a chance one of them works out and really only takes one of their supporters at NetEase. And, he wants to say thank you for NetEase for taking a chance on him. In this volatile industry, where sometimes a lot of these companies can be riding high, the inevitable crunch of the financial aspect of what we deal with day to day rears its ugly head. We get studio closures, we get game shuts down, cancellations, and a lot of times the words used are redundant, especially when larger companies are using AI to finish projects, to remove people that are in place, or if they don't see the return on investment based on projections by AI for your game, well, then they kind of cut bait. This is happening all too often. Now, I do know that we live in a time of greater information, and in greater information, we are privy to more studio closings and stuff like that we wouldn't be privy to before. It doesn't hurt any less. Again, Fantastic Pixel Castle hopefully can get funding. This is another side of the industry, the side of the industry that I don't champion. Now, on the surface of it, I really thought about Microsoft in a whole, and as far as consoles, games, services, and the backing. So now, out of the big three, and that's Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. Xbox has the most money. Microsoft, parent company, and they are able to quickly change things around. Now, with AAA titles blowing the budget, a lot of consolidation is happening in the industry. A lot of redundancies is going on once these companies get their AI agents up and running. We've noticed that there has been a lot of shutdowns when it comes to studios. Now, someone that seems a little bit Teflon to the situation is Nintendo. With Nintendo taking on cases of Power World, and they just opened up that case again to look at the patents and stuff like that, with them winning the case against the piracy. Nintendo seems to be balling on all cylinders, with them focused on the Switch 2 outselling the Switch 1 and potentially becoming the greatest sales success of all time. Nintendo just upped its forecast in this era where two of the larger ones that went for power are seeing a steep decline in hardware sales, but a steady pacing when it comes to software. Nintendo is seeing a steady pacing in software and hardware, defying the odds during this period of time. And I think that has a ton to do with handhelds, being the most eco-friendly in this environment where the digital carbon footprint is large. Physical is also as detrimental. Nintendo seems to be threading that line very carefully from physical and digital, while also maintaining its stranglehold on its niche market that it cultivated and worked out. So, in this whole equation, Nintendo has been Teflon when evaluating them during this revision crash type of thing. Nintendo itself is the lone enigma in this whole conversation, whereas PlayStation and Xbox face different challenges that they put on themselves. Now, with PlayStation and Xbox, you see two dichotomies of difference of philosophies, approaches, and how that all panned out. Sony's idea of big budget movie-like games, because their heritage is based in movies, has kind of ran its course. With the last regime focused on AAA titles that ballooned in budget, that kind of forced the industry in that direction because they was highly successful with those games. But recently, remakes and remasters of the same material has diluted and polluted their stream of games. They have pared it back down to one game per year, and also kind of canceled all of their multiplayer live service ambitious games that they had in works. But being that they have the lesser of the money when it comes to the big three, Sony is taking a long time to course correct. Xbox has a different philosophy, and those philosophies have changed over the past 5 short years, to be honest with you. They were on the path that PlayStation had, but realized once they had ABK, they became the largest third-party publisher in the world. It became ridiculous for them to even think about isolating those games off to a dying division, which is their hardware, which is falling, faster than the meteorite. But their software, where you truly make the money, is at its all-time high. So you have this yin and yang, if you will, of what Microsoft is doing. But what Microsoft and Xbox has done has built this steady thing in the background. And I believe the steady thing actually saves gaming. The options. The ability to offer options to an industry where financially we are in peril. If dudes don't want to tell you that we're heading towards the big R word, as financially, sessions, and you just put a re in front of it. Financially, a lot of things aren't afforded to people. So with the flexibility of how gaming is, and they're spearheading the whole hybrid PC moving forward to also garner streaming, allowing you to access their ecosystem at a minimum of 50 something bucks plus Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass itself, because the cloud streaming is in every tier if you look at it, with the Ultimate getting the priority. We get a chance to see how Microsoft and Xbox is future proofing the Xbox ecosystem. Whereas some may not have $1,000 for the next handheld or $1,500 for the next console. Well, do you have $50? Do you have $100? These things are allowing you to access their ecosystem on a budget that fits your budget. That is the game changer. With the first crash that we had in the industry with Atari, ColecoVision, and of the such, there wasn't any alternatives. There wasn't any digital revolution, streaming, or easy accessible pathways for you to access these games. The game's price was the game's price, and you had to fit the bill. And what happened was we had too much shovelware. And when a customer goes to the store to purchase something at $50, $60, and then that game is not good, it's actually terrible, like E.T., well, then if the mass amount of people purchase it in mass and they can't receive refunds back on their games, well, then the try and buy thing becomes no buy, no try, you die, right? So that crash happened and Nintendo brought us back. And it's kind of funny looking at Nintendo being Teflon during this whole situation. The bigger two are the issue when it came to the things that they did. Chasing the power narrative forced them into spaces where fundamentally at this financial time, it's a hardship for a ton of people. That's why they stayed on their old consoles, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But looking at the pathway, looking at what Microsoft and Xbox is proposing to the gamer, I think this is a lifeline to the gaming industry. With the accessibility to day one games aside, a service that allows you to play how you pay and play how you wanna, it gives you the options of being as frugal or as spendthrifty as you would like to be. I think Xbox is saving video games. I think right now you're going to see people move more into services. You see, there's a small contingent that will like to tell you that you're renting your games and you own nothing. Well, a majority of you guys lease a car, rent an apartment, have Netflix, go to a gym. This is the value proposition to the device or the things that you want. You can always go buy a home gym instead of going to the gym. Or you could just have access to many different gym equipments, right? So you have to really look at the value proposition. And I think the value proposition in this instant actually caters to all. Whereas gaming won't disappear based upon the accessibility options that is available to you. You will pare back your spending. You will pare back how you purchase as far as devices goes. But gaming itself is going through a transitional phase from the physical to the digital, whereas more and more gamers are being digital than physical, even on the Nintendo hardware. So with that being said, the roadmap that Xbox has with Play Anywhere, back compat, stream your own games from your devices. This allows you to know that everything is an Xbox. That makes everything accessible. That means you don't have to go out and fit a costly bill for a device that you can't afford at the moment. All you have to do is have controller will travel, or use your touchscreen. There's different ways for you to access the Xbox ecosystem, and I think it's genius in a time right now where financially a lot of people are feeling the pinch where people are looking, or are they going to have their SNAP benefits and things like that? The first thing to go when you're thinking about cost cutting is entertainment. Oh, we have to, we can't go out to eat. We got to start cooking inside the house, or, we can't go out to the movies right now. We just got to, watch the movies on Netflix or whatever. Or we have to cut down on the Netflix. We have to go back, to the one with ads, Game Pass. We can't do the 30. We got to do the 16. Stuff like that happens. The first thing to go is entertainment. But Xbox allowing you to have access no matter what level that you're at changes things dramatically. Well, this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. If you liked anything that you see here, please hit that sub button and hype up the video. Hype up the video. I don't know what it do. They say it comes to you. Pause. I don't know. But hey, man, check it out. Just hype up the video, share it out, let everybody see it, and do what I do. Game how I game. Go where win is win and game is game. And try to play the Game Pass.
Play it day one with Game Pass.